You're watching Virginia This Morning. This segment is sponsored by GRTC Transit System.
GRTC Transit System is working on a permanent transfer station. In the meantime, a new temporary transit plaza opens this month. GRTC CEO David Green joins us to explain what this means for Richmond and riders. Thanks for being with us.
Absolutely. Good morning, Jessica. Thanks for having me.
We were saying this opens this month. It opens this weekend.
It sure does. So, I've been with GRTC for about 15 years and I'm new into my role. Have been CEO since January, and since that time we've been working on a lot of big initiatives, and one in particular that's coming up quickly is going to have a major impact on some of our riders. As you said, we are planning ultimately on establishing a permanent transfer center in Richmond, but until that happens, we still have the challenge of operating transit while the city hosts two major cycling events, one coming up in less than 3 weeks, and then the second scheduled in September of 2015. So to help us with that effort, we established a temporary transfer plaza, which will operate for about 2 to 3 years, and it'll begin operating this Sunday, April 20th, which is Easter Sunday. The plaza should accommodate about 90 buses per peak hour, and we expect it to serve anywhere between 5,000 and 8,000 riders per day. This is completely new to our system. We've never done anything like this before. So a lot of people don't completely understand what the idea of a transfer facility is. So I always describe it like an airport terminal. Instead of flying in on a plane and deboarding at a gate, people will ride in on a bus and deboard at a bay. And if they are at their final destination, they can go on about their day. If they're not at their final destination, they can transfer onto another bus right there at the transfer facility and then go on about their trip.
Well, it raises the question of a critical need for the permanent transfer center, but clearly the pieces were in place to make sure that this temporary center happened now. As you mentioned, there's two major events coming up.
Absolutely, it's going to be big for the region. The transfer plaza is located downtown along 9th and Lee Streets and will consist of 13 bus bays painted on the street pavement. 21 bus routes will access this transfer plaza, and many of these routes have undergone significant changes. We have posted all the changes to our website already at ridegrtc.com, so riders looking for information on routes or schedules can access information there, or they can call our customer service department at 358-4782.
So you're changing the system a little bit for new riders, for existing riders. How will the impact make an impression on them?
Well, significantly, as I mentioned, because of the changes in the routes. A lot of the routes have changed pretty drastically. But in terms of the transfer plaza itself, we are trying to make it a little bit easier for people to make their way around. So we've installed 3 kiosks which identify where routes can be located, and each bay will be identified with other signs identifying exactly what routes stop there. The bays will be shared by 2 to 3 routes. So for an example, Bay A will be shared by routes 37 and 22. Unlike an airport terminal, routes at the transfer plaza will access the same bays every time. So once a rider has identified a bay for their particular route, they'll know specifically where to find their bus every single time. And we also plan on having personnel available on the ground out there during that first week of operation to help people navigate the plaza and find their buses.
And of course, with so many visitors coming into Richmond for the upcoming event, and then of course 2015 cycling event, this is going to be an important factor to have in place for all of those visitors new to our area.
Absolutely. It'll just allow people to get around a little bit easier, and it creates a centralized transfer point to make riding transit a little bit more efficient.
And David, you said you've taken over the reins just in January. This project was going on even before that.
Yes, we've been working on it for about 7 months. It's been one of the biggest things that we've been working on for the past half year. A lot of planning has gone into making this as positive an experience for our riders as possible. To go along with that, we have installed benches and trash cans at the plaza along the sidewalk, and we plan on installing bus shelters later this summer.
You guys are so amazingly busy. It feels like yesterday I was out talking with another person on your team about the fleet changeover to the natural gas.
Yes, we started receiving compressed natural gas vehicles last year in 2013. And coincidentally, we just did a ribbon cutting ceremony out at our operations facility at Belt Boulevard on our new CNG fueling station a week ago today.
And you'll deliver this project and it'll make such a difference for the next couple of years, and then you're going to turn around and have to work on the permanent fixture.
Absolutely, and we've got bigger and better things on the horizon,
well,
for sure.
Things
yes.
are always changing. David, thank you for being with us.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
And congratulations.
Thanks, and we'd love to see you out at the Plaza after we open on April 20th. It'd be great to see you.
Coming up this weekend, David Green, brand new CEO of GRTC Transit System. You can learn more about the new temporary transfer plaza, as he said, by logging on to ridegrtc.com or calling 358-3871. GRTC is located at 301 East Belt Boulevard in Richmond. That's their headquarters.